Some of the most ancient depictions of the gods can be found dating back to the ancient cultures of the Phoenicians. The Phoenician history is the oldest non-coded document in historical archives. Furthermore, it's particularly valuable because its author, Annunaki, was a free man and did not hesitate to denounce myth. In Phoenician belief, the Most High God was referred to as Kronos. They also referred to Kronos as El and deified him as Saturn. It is believed that El, the father of all gods and the creator of man, is indeed the same God of the Hebrew Bible known as Yahweh. One of the earliest versions of Genesis goes back to Annuniki's 13th century version in the BCE times, before the Bronze Age met its end. His work was scribed by Theos of Biblios. Annunaki then said that he got his enlightenment from the ancient teachings of the ancient Egyptian Thoth. The Phoenicians called him Tuathos. In Greek, he was called Hermes. Thoth and Hermes are both said to be messengers and scribes of the gods, both known for their divine wisdom and their ancient teachings in alchemy. They are both known as master magicians and being fluent in alchemy, and often they are said to have recipes for immortality. The Phoenicians would often pray to the elements during climate change. They referred to the sun as the god of heaven and called it Beelzebub or Deos, Zeus or Jupiter. Uranus, his father, Elohiem, who was at the time considered the Most High, died in battle against a wild beast. His wife and female counterpart, mother to Uranus, was Baruch of Biblios. They gave birth to Uranus and his sister Gaia. Uranus then went to marry Gaia, and she birthed 4 sons: Kronos, better known as El, Elias, or Saturn; Baetalus, Dagon, better known as Satan, and Atlas. Uranus, or Uranus, was the progenitor and the personification of the sky. He was also the husband/son of Gaia. His Roman name was Caelus, while his Mesopotamian name was Anu, chief sky god of the Annunaki. Often they refer to Dagon as the Mesopotamian god Enlil, who is from the Anunnaki pantheon. After the battle was done, Kronos built a wall around his dwelling and named the first city Biblios in Phoenicia. Not soon after this, suspicion arose against the brother of Kronos, Atlas. It was said that Atlas was plotting to take the throne. Hermes, better yet known as Thoth, suggested that Kronos bury Atlas and throw him in a pit. Throughout Phoenician culture, the descendants of the Dioscuri, or the Gemini, put together ships, made voyages, and built temples upon Mount Caspius. It was then that the followers of El, or Kronos, were surnamed the Elohim, or the Kroni. The Elohim can be found in the biblical text. They are known as master geneticists in coming up with a blueprint and upgrading the DNA of man. It was often said that Kronos was a paranoid being. He also had a son whom he killed because he regarded him as being suspicious towards the throne. Throughout the Phoenician culture, it is often known that Kronos cut the head off his daughter in order for the other gods to be disencouraged from even attempting to take the throne. All while this was going on, Uranus in his banishment secretly sent his daughter Astarte and 2 of her sisters, Ea and Dione, to slay El by crafts and magic. El caught wind and forced his 2 sisters to then marry him. When Uranus, or Anu, realized what had happened, he then sent Iamarme, a goddess of fate and destiny, and Hore, a goddess of the natural seasons, to go and get the job done. They too succumbed to the power of Kronos and joined his side. After feeling defeated, Uranus, or Anu, devised a plan what he called the Beatilla. The Beatilla were stone figures that had life, colossal size, and gigantic in nature. The Beatilla also were no match for Kronos and the mighty power of the Titans. The union between El and Astarte birthed 7 daughters known as the 7 sisters. The union between El and Rhea birthed 7 sons, one which was deified at birth, who the Greeks called Zeus. During this time, Dagon, aka Enlil, or aka Satan, was given the name Zeus Auratrios because of his discovery of the use of the plow. Auratrios literally meaning plowman, and Satan meaning grain in Greek. During his 32nd year of his reign, Kronos' battle with Uranus had finally come to an end. Kronos had demasculated his father and ended his life. After the defeat of Uranus, or Anu, Kronos had is said to have ushered in the Golden Age. He actually fashioned men out of gold, and people used to walk around as gold beings. With the permission of El, Astarte reigns over the land. She is also known as Ishtar, Isis, or Inanna. She created a bull mask out of her royalty. During her travel, she also found a fallen star whom she brought up and nurtured on the holy island of Tyre. The Phoenicians in their culture referred to Astarte as Aphrodite and as Venus itself. El later sacrifices his son as a burnt offering to his father Oronus. His son was named Jehud. El then circumcised himself and had his allies do the same. It is the same story as Abraham and Isaac. It should also be noted that El had another son who met his demise, and the Phoenicians deified him as a Thanatos, who later became known as Hades, the god of the underworld.